All right, you have heard of vibe coding, maybe. And so today I'm going to introduce you to vibe writing. And this is sort of a very fluid process that I use with Claude to create blog content and content for my social media. I prefer to use Claude as a sort of a collaborator versus just have it generate AI slop because I want my thoughts and voice to be incorporated in the article. And I use Claude to help me do some research, help me see what people are saying on social media, and compile it all together, and maybe even like poke holes in the arguments I'm making through these articles. So I've got the first thing I have set up is the Claude desktop app, which you can see here. And you can see I've got a bunch of tools in there. So these are the MCP tools that I've installed. And I'll walk you through how I use these tools through the process. I'm also using Whisper Flow to talk to Claude. So let's start with this. I want to write an article about OpenAI's latest Agent SDK release. Before we begin, do some research online. Use the Brave search tool to find articles around the Agents SDK and what it is. So as you can see, a Whisperflow, a really cool tool, just allows me to speak and then speak into Claude, and I just hit go, right? And so Claude is going to look at my request and then ask me for permission to use the Brave Search tool, which I've installed via Smithery. And as you can see, it's come back with like a bunch of answers. It's even like sort of going deeper now. It's got like a few answers here, some results, and then it kind of just like does a few more searches, goes into specific detail about what was released, specific features and capabilities, and now it's given me a good summary. Amazing. And it has the full context of all of the content here as well. So it's now in the context window of this chat. So I see the summary here, but I actually also have the full context of everything that's been written. I'm going to have it pull in some more content. Now pull in conversations around the Agents SDK on Twitter and create a little artifact so that I can see all the tweets and also link to each tweet. And so what I'm asking you to do here is because it would normally just like use the Twitter MCP like the way it did with the Brave, and it gives me a summary. But I actually want the links to each of these tweets so that I can maybe respond to those tweets or incorporate those tweets in my article and then have those tweeters post about it. So you can see it's creating the artifact. It's got all of these first impression tweets, technical implementation examples. So now I'm actually getting like real life examples, conversations about it, perspectives, the different competitive landscapes, people talking about Manus AI and so on, which is amazing. Now I can just include these tweets in my article, but I can also now promote my content by telling these people that I've included them in my article, which is a really great way to get your content noticed. So now that we have all that, by the way, I'm using the free version of Twitter's API. It does have limits on it. So I'm going to hit like rate limits and only get like 10 results. But those are good enough because those are like the most popular recent ones. Now with all of this information, let's write the article. Here's a quick outline of what I want to cover in the article. So as an introduction, I want to talk about how OpenAI is continuing to move down this direction that I've been speaking about myself of enabling agentic capabilities with its language models. This is also something that I've covered in my MCP series from Claude. So set this foundation of how OpenAI is taking the next step in the evolution of this journey. And then the next section of the article should talk about what is the Agents SDK, just give an overview of it. And then we go into how does it actually work. And we give some examples from people who have created examples on Twitter. And then I want to close off with a little call to action to have people go check it out and then reach out to me if they need any help with it. And that's it. So Claude is going to take all the content we've covered so far and create an article with the sort of the angle that I want to go with, right? And so as you can see here, it's a lot of good stuff. And then what I do now at this point is I just go, it's like a back and forth conversation with Claude where I say, you know what, I kind of want a little section here that talks about why people should care before they go into how it works. So then Claude does that. Then I'll read through it as well and be like, I don't like this. Can you change that? And so on. Now, I am not going to go through the back and forth just yet because I want to show you the cool thing at the end. Um, the last little thing that I do here is I have a custom WordPress MCP installed. So all I do is, okay, great. Now publish this as a draft to my WordPress blog. And so with the custom MCP, again, asks for, well, it creates the structure. So it creates all the classes, headers, the entire blog article, the title, and so on. And then in a couple of minutes here, you're going to see it ask me for permission to run the create post MCP tool for WordPress. And there we go. Took a little longer than I was expecting. Usually is a lot faster, but it is now done. So there you go, post ID, full link. I can click on it. I can go into my WordPress and I will actually see it there and it's been formatted properly with all the WordPress blocks and so on. And I can just go correct it, tweak it if I want to, and publish it. One final thing this can do is once I publish it, I can actually tell Claude to, and I'm not going to show it here because I've hit the rate limit on Twitter, but I can actually tweet out the link to the post. And I could say, write a tweet and work with Claude to create a tweet, and it tweets it out. And so there you go. My my content publishing workflow with Claude and MCP. I've automated a lot of the research stuff. Of course, I didn't do a lot of the editing in this video, but it does take me, I do take about like 15-20 minutes with back and forth, really going through every section that Claude's generated, working in my personal voice and tone, some of my own personal humor and analogies that I like to use. And then once I'm happy with it, I have Claude push it to my WordPress.